welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that is very close to my heart, and that is creativity, finding a creative outlet, how to do that, and just how important it is and how it's really helped me in my life. When life gets too rigid and we're just like constantly consuming and putting our energy into all of these things outside of ourselves, I truly believe that one of the best forms of therapy is creating, whether that's painting, drawing, cooking, making music, making clothes, anything that gets you in that creative flow state. That is such a powerful medicine. I feel like we consume so many things outside of ourselves, like different forms of media and all that, that we forget to create our own things. We tend to like stray away from creativity as we get older because we think we've outgrown it, and life has to be serious and rigid now that you're an adult, or now that you're older and you're not a kid anymore. And it really doesn't have to be that way. And that childlike joy that you get from creating, whether it's doing something you loved as a kid like painting or anything of that sort, that joy is essential in all different chapters of life. It's so easy to go in a downward spiral when you're constantly in your head analyzing everything about your life and life in general. But finding a creative outlet, finding something that gets you in the flow state, that gets you out of your head, just brings so much more ease into your life, and you're really inviting the energy of the inner child. Bringing creativity into your life as an adult or even as a teen is super healing to your inner child. Like when we were kids, we loved to create things. We loved to do art projects, maybe write. I know for me, I loved to draw and I loved to write. I loved to make up stories and characters and all that. But with that, we didn't have these crazy judgments and expectations of ourselves. We simply just did it for our enjoyment and for self-expression. And who says we can't bring that into our lives now? We had that confidence, and we should bring our inner child through all that we do and find things for it to thrive. Because a lot of the time, the reason why we feel so stuck or rigid in our lives is because we're not allowing fun, we're not allowing play and creativity, and we're not allowing spaces for that inner child energy to come alive. We're not allowing ourselves to have fun and maybe start a drawing or art project without attaching a crazy expectation for it and just doing it for fun. And I remember in the beginning of quarantine, I started drawing again because we were all kind of bored out of our minds, right? And I started drawing again, and I just remember thinking, like, I need to do this more often. This just feels so good. I feel at peace. I feel focused, and like not focused in a very like hustle culture rigid way, but focused in a playful way. And I just feel good. I felt like I was connecting with my inner child, just drawing and not having an expectation for the outcome. And that just reminded me that, yeah, that doesn't have to be just for when you're young. You can do it your whole life, and you can have creative outlets within your life as you're older, as an adult, when you're like a senior citizen. It doesn't matter, as long as you are entering that flow state and you are creating from a space of love. So for those who are looking to discover some creative endeavors, new creative outlets, I would say, go back to what you did as a kid. So whatever you love to do, painting, drawing, writing, making up dances, making up songs, whatever you liked to do, try doing that again, because you're familiar with it, so it won't be so intimidating. And also, it just will reignite that feeling of joy that you felt. Like for me, I loved painting and drawing and writing, so when I started to do that again, it started to like reignite my creativity, and I started to take on new creative outlets that I never would have thought I would have taken on. And also, now that I think about it, my grandma, when I was little, my grandma had given me a camera, and I used to talk to the camera and make videos and be creative, and doing this is pretty much the same thing. And it's just this YouTube is also a creative outlet as well. If you're someone who likes to talk, if you're someone who likes to make videos, make things look cool on camera, try that out too. And as you start to work that muscle again, when you feel the inspiration to create, go with it. Go with the first thing that pops in your head. A lot of the time, like as we get older, we ignore imagination and think that, you know, imagination just for kids, but imagination is so powerful. That is you being receptive and receiving ideas, receiving images, receiving things to create. So go with that idea and don't judge it. And it doesn't need to be perfect, because a lot of the time we grow up into people pleasers and perfectionists, and we want to do everything right. We want to do everything the right way. And that's just simply not the point of creativity. You're missing the point of creativity when you're trying to analyze it so much. Give yourself permission to be imperfect and don't overanalyze or judge yourself or your work. This isn't school. Like, you don't need to overanalyze every single thing. And create from the heart. And in those exact times that you're feeling stuck or rigid, like, just return to that creative outlet. I know that really helps me. That's my medicine a lot of the time. If I feel stressed out or overwhelmed, or if I feel like I'm being too tense, I will just take my yarn and my crochet hook and start making something or start sketching something. Crocheting has been my favorite form of creation lately, but I will just start crocheting, or I'll just make up a little song on my tongue drum that I have and play my singing bowls and stuff like that, and allow it to be a whole meditative experience and get into that flow state. The flow state is basically like when you are so immersed in something that all time is just non-existent and you forget that you even have bodily needs and forget that you're even here physically in a way, and you're just immersed in this activity, and it's a feeling of peace. It's not a feeling of like, I need to get this done. It's more so of like, you're not even really thinking, you're just creating. It's just you, what you're doing, and whatever you want to call it, God, spirit, the universe. That is the flow state, and that is truly healing. That is really a huge energy giver, especially in times when you're feeling depleted and when you're feeling overworked and stressed. And I've noticed a lot of the times when I'm flowing, like, more ideas will come to me and it'll make what I'm creating even cooler. And I'm just more open and receptive in that mode, more open than I would be if I were to sit down and be like, okay, this is what I'm making, this is how it needs to look, this is every single detail that I need to do. And anytime I start a project out like that, it ends up not even working out that well. So that's would be like my biggest form of advice is, don't, when you're sitting down to create, allow it to be a meditative experience. Do not have such a crazy plan for it. Just allow it. And for my people who do create, people who have their creative outlets, for my creatives, my message and advice is to bring more childlike joy and fun into what you create. Release any intense control. And I understand that sometimes you want to have a direction with what you're making, having an intention and all that, and that's great, that's good. But let go of this any crazy expectations of perfection, and just allow it to be and see what happens. Because a lot of the time, what you make will come out really awesome when you just allow. Now, I understand it can be different when it comes to making money off of what you create, or making your creative outlet your career, like musicians or anything like that. Like for me, I just recently actually opened up my Etsy shop, and I will have everything for it linked down below, and I'll put my Etsy name on the screen and my Instagram, because I'm also selling it on my crochet Instagram, a lot of the same items. But I just started crocheting for fun. Last year, I started making things for myself. I did it with the intention of just having a hobby that's peaceful, and also making my own clothes. I thought that was so cool. And I started making things for other people as well, and other people started liking it, and I thought it would be so cool to make a shop and sell it to anyone. And I did that, and here I am now. And Now the dynamic has changed. It's different for me now because I'm not just doing it for myself or for people I know. It's going to be going to other people. If you're in that circumstance, creating from the heart and just having that pure intention and really flowing with what you're making is what is truly magnetic and what will be most receptive to people and what will make you stand out. So you don't really need to think about it that much. And that's something that I am, just now implementing into my life. Of course, there are things that you want to think about when you are trying to make things profitable and make money off of what you create, but also just inviting that balance of putting the thought and analysis into it and letting go and just allowing yourself to be free and to bring fun into what you're creating. Creativity doesn't have to become a serious, rigid thing, even if you are using it as a career or as another stream of income. It can still be fun. It can still come from your heart. You can still allow yourself to enter those meditative states while you create, and still continue to invite that playfulness. You will make such good work and you won't even realize it until you're done. You'll just be like creating and be like, whoa, okay, like I like this. Don't forget to enjoy what you do and just express yourself through whatever you create, through whatever you're feeling, whatever emotions you're going through. You don't always have to be like super energetic and bubbly and joyful and childlike. When you're making something, you can be sad and use your creative outlet as a form of self-expression. You can be angry and transmute that anger into what you're making. It really doesn't matter. It's just the beautiful thing about it all is that you have something to return to express yourself. So that is everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. Thank you so much for watching. And again, I have all of my links down below. My link for my crochet Instagram account and for my crochet Etsy shop is also down below. The sun's starting to come out again. It's like my finale. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.